Good morning, everyone. Welcome along to the Chang International Circuit here in Buriram, Thailand for rounds 5 and 6 of the GT World Challenge Asia, powered by AWS. It's the midpoint of the championship and it's the end of our Southern Asian tour. It's a favourite racetrack to many of our 30 entrants this weekend. But it's going to be a challenging weekend. As you can see, grey skies hovering above the circuit, on and off rain showers throughout the weekend so far. Hasn't actually affected practice and the paid sessions that we've had, but it will affect track conditions this morning. Pockets of puddles of wet inside curbs and off the racing line. I think the track is itself dry, but it is very, very soggy out there, and we are expecting rain for race 1 of the weekend, which is coming up at 3 o'clock local time here in Thailand. As I said, 30 cars. We lose a couple of cars from our entry list in Mandalika last time out, which was a capacity field. We've got a couple of different driver lineups to get used to. We've got 3 new cars with different liveries as well, and there is our championship leaders, Bob, Yuan and Liu Ye. Origin Motorsport with 3 wins out of 4 races so far this year. Porsche, therefore, with 3 wins out of 4 races. Only that Corvette win in Malaysia, famous in front of the King of Malaysia, to upset the Porsche's role. They look so strong, but perhaps it's a Ferrari this weekend that could take victory. A new lineup here in the 96, no longer Lorenzo Patrese in that car, but instead he has been replaced by Chinese ace Lu Kai-lo. In fact, Harmony Racing have changed their second car's lineup as well in the 55, and Ellis Sepinen replaces Patrese in that car. It is David Chen who gets replaced in the 96, of course, the owner of Harmony Racing, handing over to Lu Kai-lo, who a couple of weekends ago in Shanghai missed out on 2 victories in the Chinese GT Championship. GT cars have been racing around Buriram last weekend in the Thai Super Series. We've got a couple of cars from that championship with us, or a couple of drivers at least, with us this weekend. It's looking like a strong weekend potentially for the 500 again. It should so have won in Mandalika race 2. Motoki absorbing so much pressure until the final lap where he got spun around, and unfortunately it has meant that Motoki is no longer in that car, and we welcome back Hirobon to join us for his 10th race weekend of GT World Challenge Asia. Also in the background, the number 89, unchanged Team KRC of Ran Kunfan and Maxim Hussein. Very, very strong year so far. That Silver Am pairing, an overall podium in the first race of the year, 2 4th positions and a 5th. They've scored well in every single race they have participated in, and of course been absolutely perfect when it comes to the Silver Am competition with 4 wins. We are racing an overall race here, but we also have 4 separate races within that overall race. A race for Pro-Am, Silver Am, Silver and Am as well. And in the Am category, fascinating. 4 races we've had so far, 4 different driver pairings taking a victory. I say pairings, actually Ben Porter wasn't a pairing when he took victory. He was on his own, wasn't he, with Andrew McPherson ill on that first weekend in Malaysia. Cars rolling out onto circuit, I imagine all on slick tyres, but the circuit has been declared wet. That means that race control allows teams to put wet tyres on if they want. And qualifying 1 is for our more amateur drivers. So if you're a Silver Am or a Pro-Am pairing, this is the Am driver coming out onto circuit now, discovering track conditions. It's not raining at the moment, no precipitation falling from the sky, but they do need to be careful about the curbs. They need to be careful, particularly, certainly from my vantage point, high in the grandstand, I can see in the final turn on the inside of the curb where we've seen quite a few drivers cutting during the race weekend, and that's going to be a big subject during our qualifying session. There is a big puddle there, so you definitely do not want to cut going through that turn. Just to mix things up this weekend, we've got an onboard camera on the number 45 Phantom Global Racing Audi. And this is Frankie Chang and James Yu, who will be our guides in the silver category, potentially also pole position for this first session, because of course they are a silver pairing, and that means as a silver driver out on this circuit, they are in theory the most more experienced, more performant. Let's see, because we've seen some very good performances from our AM competitors, and with so many opportunities for cutting the track here, running over four wheels over the white line because the curbs are so flat. This is obviously MotoGP's Thai venue, much like Mandalika was their Indonesian venue last time out. The curbs are flat, some of them are even tarmac, just painted, and it allows GT3 cars to monster over them, and race direction obviously doesn't like that, it's gaining an advantage. So lots of penalties handed out in pre-qualifying yesterday, and expect times to be taken away from drivers in today's session. They're going to take some time to get temperature and therefore pressure into these tyres, to get used to where the wet points are around the circuit. We are watching the 87 Porsche Origin Motorsport, Bob Wan aboard that car for this first session. Champions from last year, of course, chose not to run the number one on their car, but still have managed to get 2 first positions, and it's always race 1 for them. It's always Bob Wan's qualifying performance setting them up for a good first race of the weekend, and then they have the success ballast, and then they do slightly less good in the second session, and of course that means they come here without that success penalty, which is not ballast in terms of weight in the car, it's actually in terms of amount of time spent in the pit. So they have a penalty, the top 3 overall in each of our races have a penalty of 5 seconds for third, 10 seconds extra stationary for second, and 15 seconds for your winner in the next race. Lu Wei, winner last time out in Mandalika with Alessio Piccarello. He shares the car this weekend with his teammate from the first weekend of the season. Bastien Moose is back. Now, when it was Bastien and Lu Wei, they only managed a single point in Malaysia, just a 10th position. Bastien has been away since then, racing elsewhere. Curious to see quite a few cars still in pit lane or having pressure changes on their car. We've not seen the 75 Ferrari, although that now starts to roll down pit lane, and I noticed that Boccolacci and Anthony Liu's car, will be Anthony Liu, of course, in that car for this first session. That's only just exiting pit lane now, so a few cars taking their time to head out onto circuit. Now, we spoke about the 500. Hirobon was fastest of the pre-qualifying session in that Nissan. Hasn't been with us so far this season. It's Motoki who drove the car in the first 2 races of the year. And they have not got a single point on the board, despite leading most of that second race in Mandalika. But Hirobon looking very, very fast in practice. The Nissan, a favoured car around here. It's got plenty of grunt to get themselves down that long straight from turns 1 to turn 3. There's a kink in there called turn 2. And now the first of our times start to come in. Hirobon, fastest of all, 2 purple sectors, a 1:36.4. Still a couple of seconds off what they were able to do yesterday, so I'm expecting all of these times to continue to improve. And also we need to be careful with track limits, because there'll be a lot of these times being removed because of track limits infringements. We've got 2 judges of fact out on circuit, monitoring turns 7 and 11. And then we've got cameras monitoring 5 other points around the circuit, which are potential track limits infringements. Anytime you go 4 wheels off, and the judges of fact are watching, they will penalise you. Here is Chang Kung Fu, otherwise known as Frankie Chang to most of us, the most experienced driver in GT World Challenge Asia. 4 wheels off there, straight away on the inside of that turn. Now, we'll see it, but we are not a judge of fact, so TV can point it out, we can comment on it, or I can comment on it, but if judge of fact are not watching that particular corner, it cannot be used against the team and the car. They must be watched by a judge of fact that is part of the drives committee, and TV is not a judge of fact. So basically a team can't have a look at that, what we've just seen from Chang Kung Fu, and take that to the stewards and say, look, he was 4 wheels off. He goes second fastest, a 35.4. But does that time get taken away from him? Well, Run Kun Fan has had his time deleted in the BMW. Should be a strong track for BMW as well. And of course, the other problem is they are so far behind race control in reality, because they're having to assess every single one of these track limit infringements, decide whether it's a yes or a no, and then penalise. So they become behind reality. A lot of traffic out on circuit. Look at the JMR Corvettes. Didn't see very much of them in Mandalika. Ben Green was very strong in his second stint in race 2 to get himself up into the mix. And we should actually say a happy birthday, of course, yesterday for Prince Abu Bakar. I don't know whether it was him or one of his teammates that was the celebrity double pirouette that went viral on social overnight. But somebody had a scary moment out on circuit. Looks like Chang Kung Fu has held on to that time, but Andy Dung Yi heads over the line and goes fastest of all with a 34.5. Now we're getting a bit closer to that fastest AM time that we saw from practice. An improvement from Lu Wei as well. He's up to 4th spot. So it's Ferrari, Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini, our top 4 at the moment. Here is Rio, also in the China GT Championship a few weeks ago, in that very distinctive pink Audi. 5th at the moment. That's a much better performance from Uno Racing, and they move up into 4th position because Lu Wei, no, it wasn't Lu Wei, it was the 29 of Juan Huang, who's had his lap time deleted. Lots of times will tumble. We've got to keep an eye on 3 different screens here. Little droplet of water as well on the camera lens down at the final, at the hairpin of turn 3. But it's that kind of rain that's falling all the time here in Buriram, and it's really not that wet. I say that from experience of walking into the circuit. It's raining, but it doesn't get you wet. It doesn't get the circuit wet. But it does land on the windscreen, and for a moment you go, uh-oh, it's raining now. Psychological rain, I think we call that. So, Andy Dung, fastest of all. Silver on the pole, silver in 2nd. Then the best of our AM competitors is Anthony Liu in 3rd position now. Lu Wei in 4th. And then Rio in 5th. So a much stronger performance from our silvers than we've seen previously. Good qualifying session from Daniel Frost in Q1 of Mandalika, but they've swapped, the Craft Bamboo guys have swapped those 2 silvers so that Liang Jiatong runs in this session. He's down in 9th position, and then Daniel Frost will go out alongside the pros. They've decided to balance it out a little bit more. Here is Anthony Liu, our most successful driver in GT World Challenge Asia, with 6 victories to his name across 74 races that we've held so far. Liu improves his time up onto the front row of the grid for Porsche. Phantom Global Racing, the team that he's chosen to run his car this year. He was with Absolute and previously to that in a Mercedes with Craft Bamboo. But ever present in this championship and with various different teammates. I have to say, he's got a good one this year in Dorian Boccolacci, and it also looks as though Dorian has decided to make this his priority. So when there's been clashes like there was in Mandalika with the NLS, the Nürburgring Nordschleife series, Dorian was with us, whereas we might have seen other drivers prioritise that over this. And that is fantastic for the championship and proves just how seriously our pro drivers take it. But at the moment, we're watching the AMS. We've got 3 minutes remaining of the session. It's Andy Dung from Anthony Liu, Cao Chi up to 3rd position. That is a very strong qualifying from the 31. And he's got a new teammate this weekend in Daniel Morad, who is very strong in qualifying. Mercedes are traditionally very strong here in Buriram, with 6 wins out of the 10 races that we have had here in Thailand over the years. And it looks like Cao Chi may get a little bit held up here by the number 2, Mike Joe, gets out of the way. That car was in the wall in practice yesterday. It looks like it's been fixed. Down in 19th position at the moment. In AM, it's Ben Porter, 14th spot for the Australian. Great qualifying for him at the moment. And for Silveram, it is Hirabon in 8th position. So the BMW that we thought might be strong, at the moment, not as strong as the Nissan or the Lamborghini as well. Because 2nd position in Silveram is Ruan Huan, on board once again with Cheng Kong Fu. Purple sector for Rio here in sector 1, faster than he's been before in sector 2. Is this going to be improvement from 5th position over the line to 4th? 1 minute remaining, so he's still got one more time, but surely these slick Pirelli tyres are starting to go off now. A little bit of a correction as well through turn 1. Just slightly lost the rear end. And now timing screens have updated, and it is actually Lo Kai Lo who is in the 96 Ferrari. So early in the running we thought it was Andy Dung, but they've decided as a silver pairing to put the new, to us anyway, for this season, Lo Kai Lo in that car. We've seen Lo before. He's been with us for 4 weekends, including a overall podium in race 2 in Sepang last year. But maybe the best of the tyres from the Ferrari, who in fact does come into the pits. 8 seconds remaining then. Is that our pole position car? Debut to the championship. Checker flag flies then. Who is still on a good lap? New slick tyres will go onto that Ferrari for the next session. It'll be Andy Deng who'll jump aboard that car. Now, here is the BMW of Tony Wan Fan, 12th position, 3rd in Silveram. Nicely monsters that curve. Where is he? He's in the middle sector. So we get a chance to see the layout of this Buriram circuit, which is Nice and flowy, double left-hander there, then turn right, big opportunity to monster the curb on the right-hand side there. Don't let the car run out too wide on the exit. Is this going to be a better lap? It's not as good in the middle sector, so he may well not improve. There's another opportunity to cut there, but Fan being very, very well behaved. And now down towards the final turn. Big hard braking zone. Through the final turn. Stays away from cutting the curbs. Over the line he goes. Isn't it improvement for Tony Ryan? No, stays 12th position. I think that might be a little bit disappointing for BMW. And that could well be it. Law Kai Law then. On just his 5th weekend in GT World Challenge Asia, his first for this year. And Win Here Harmony Racing have got themselves a pole position. A big change at Win Here Harmony for this weekend with a new driver in the 55, a new driver in the 96, but it looks like it might have paid off. Was built Ben Porter in the 51, who got the best AM time, 16th position for him. And Anthony Liu, Pro-Am pole and second on the grid. That is going to be a lot of fun for Anthony Liu. I'm surprised in all the years he's been with us, he's just not quite got the performance of a silver, but on his best, he really can be silver pace. So pole position then for silver pairing of Law Kai Law, the 96. Second position and best Pro-Am for Anthony Liu. Ben Porter, as I say, 16th position and best AM, and the best silver AM, the 500 Nissan of Hidabon, in 8th position. And so, Law Kai Law then, 0.3 of a second faster than anybody else. Anthony Liu, second position. Then the 45 Audi of Frankie Chen and James Yu in 3rd spot. Rio and Thong for Audi in 4th. And then the Craft Bamboo of Cao Chi dropping down to 5th position. It's a really mixed up grid with Corvette in 6th position. Nissan in 8th position. Lamborghini 10th spot as we roll down to the BMW only in 12th position and nearly a second off the fastest lap time of the day. Best of our AM competitors down there in 16th spot. A good qualifying from Ben Porter, because as you see, as we scroll onto page 2, the second best AM, 22nd for Garage 75. And some of our new drivers to the championship, Henk Kiks qualifies 29th for his Be Quick Lamborghini. That's the car that we saw Eduardo Mortara and Andre Canard in last time out, 4.7 seconds back. So that's qualifying 1 all done. And what we will do now is take those drivers out of the cars and put our pro drivers in for race 2. Let's go down to the pits. Emily is down there and she has our pole position driver.
Your first pole position for the season, congratulations, what a lap.
Yeah, actually, we have a very good teamwork. We have a very good car this weekend, I think. And actually, I think this lap is quite good. But for in my side, I think I can improve like 0.3 because I want to be safe in the first outing lap. When I want to try to push another lap, the tires just finished. So, yeah, it's really lucky, and we hope have a good race in the first round.
In the afternoon, it seems like a tricky condition with the weather. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm not afraid with the weather. Yeah, we have a very good car. I'm very happy to have a good race in the afternoon.
Okay, good luck to you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Law Kai Law, first time with us this season. We did see him last year for a part season, And that car initially run in the first 2 rounds by David Chen, who is the owner of Harmony Racing, and has handed that over to Law Kai Law for at least this round, and presumably, if he continues that kind of performance moving forward, then he will keep his seat. Marcus Winkelhock in the 46 there in front of us. Yes, that Marcus Winkelhock, the famous F1 driver, GT1 world champion, Pro-Am European Blancpain as it was back then in 2018 champion, multiple Nürburgring 24-hour wins, and just a couple of points on the board this year in GT World Challenge Asia. A spin in both of the races in Mandalika. Whilst Marcus was aboard that car, and they will be hoping for a lot more. Shares that car, as he has done the whole season, with Bao Yinglong, who is his AM. And Marcus does have a win to his name, and in fact it was here last year where he took victory. That was in race 1 with a different teammate. Race 2 was won by Patrick Pilet, who is also back with us this weekend. We say welcome back to Patrick Pilet in the 911. It's a new livery on that car for this weekend. So look out for the yellow and black Be Quick livery on the Porsche. There's also obviously the Lamborghini out there on circuit. We didn't see too much of it in the first session. We probably will see more of it in this session. Don't forget, we now have pro drivers in the cars, and for so many on the grid, that means international superstars of GT3 racing. And ex-Formula 1 drivers. Yes, we've just checked in with Marcus Winkelhock, ex-F1 driver, but Giancarlo Fisichella also on the grid in the number 60 Ferrari for LM Corsa. We said hello to him in Mandalika, and he comes back with us for this second race. Could well be the last time we see Giancarlo with us this season in terms of the championship. He is confirmed for the Suzuka 1,000 kilometres. That is the objective of LM Corsa for this year. So the 87 of Bob Wan gets handed over to Leo Ye, and Leo, despite being really a silver rather than a pro, is able to compete with the golds and platinums that he is racing against out there on circuit. And it will be Leo Ye who is the first car to set a lap time, I believe, because the cars ahead of him are cars just coming out of the pits. So he will automatically have a purple sector to his name. There is the Lamborghini, Be Quick Lamborghini, just going through shot. As we mentioned earlier, Loris Spinelli makes his debut in the championship. A multiple Lamborghini Super Trofeo champion of many, many years, and works Lamborghini driver in IMSA last year, but this year not part of their IMSA portfolio, and actually has done very little racing so far this year, has Spinelli. We saw him 2 weekends ago partnering a bronze driver in GT World Challenge Sprint Cup. The bronze drivers only getting their first round at Zandvoort because there's not enough space in the paddock at Brands Hatch in the European Series. And so Spinelli only getting his 2025 campaign up and running in Zandvoort 2 weekends ago. And then over here, he was on the original entry list in Malaysia for this number 29 Lamborghini, but then it didn't arrive in time. So a nice big push lap there from Leo Ye, who then comes into the pits, and what they'll do is they'll then just change the tyre pressures a little bit, bring them back down into the window that they need. See Dorian Boccolacci doing the same in his Porsche, and a few other Porsches in pits doing the same thing, which means we can pick up Maxime Hussein, who, as we spoke about with BMW in qualifying 1, has been a bit of a star, really. Even though he is a silver-rated driver, absolutely able to perform alongside some of those pros. And look, all of the Porsches doing the same thing. Actually, they're not even doing tyre pressures, they're swapping front to backs, which is a sort of a touring car trick. Or is that new tyres now going on, whereas they've gone out on used? I always find it interesting. Go down and chat to the Absolute guys, because it's only ever Porsches that do that. It's the Absolute Racing running Audis, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Actually, they don't have a Ferrari here this weekend, but they do in China GT. And it's only ever the Porsches that seem to have that strategy of coming back into the pits. And for me, that looked like either they were swapping tyres from front to back, like you do in touring cars, because of the weight in the Porsche being so much over the rear of the car, rather than a mid-engine car having a more equal weight distribution. Or it's that they ran on used and then they go out on a set of new tyres, having got their eye in. But I don't understand why all Porsche teams would do that. Right, on board with the 45, it's James Yu Kwai. He's taken over from Frankie Chang. He goes up to 5th position. Jordan Love has set a lap time and has now brought his Corvettes into the pits. Teammates to brothers Prince Jeffrey and Prince Abu Bakr. Obviously they've done their sessions. We've got in the 99 car Ben Green again. Obviously that's the car that took victory in Sepang in race 2 of the season. The only non-Porsche to take a victory this year. But Alexander Sims racing over in IMSA in America this weekend, as he was in Mandalika, so we won't see Alexander back in the car until later on this year. We spoke a bit about Patrick Pilet. Here he is in the 911, brand new livery on that car for this weekend. Henk Kiks' Be Quick company, which is a quick fit in Europe, an equivalent, set up by the Ford Motor Company in 2000 to quickly service road cars in the Asia region. The idea is you can go in, get a new set of tyres fitted and come back out whilst you're having a coffee. And Henk bought that company back in 2003. So 25 years he has been over here as an expat from Holland. And has always been a very big supporter of motor racing. He actually sponsors the whole TSS Championship, the Thai Super Series Championship. He's got his logos on his car, which is the Lamborghini, but he's also supporting Patrick Pilet's car this weekend. Top running on the bottom for Elias Sepanen, who is another rookie to the championship, taking over from Lorenzo Patrese in the 55 Win-Air Harmony car. But brand new to the championship, brand new to Ferrari. He's only ever raced Mercedes in GT3s and is the reigning paddock GT Masters champion. At the moment, Sepanen is 2nd position behind Daniel Morad. We've still got half a session remaining. I imagine these pros have still got some time to find as Usain comes over the line. Where is that lap time put in? No, he hasn't come over the line yet. Ben Green goes fastest for Corvette. Here is Usain, but he's given away quite a lot of time in the middle sector. Through the final turn, conscious to keep that BMW between the white lines, goes up into 2nd position. Just 0.05 of a second behind Ben Green. Now we're starting to see the stars show their cards with 6.5 minutes remaining of Q2. Sets the grid for race 2, which is our Sunday morning race here in Buriram. On board, nursing the car towards the apex. It's not as good first sector for both Ben Green and Max Hussein. They'll relax and then get back going again. Here's Akish Nandi looking to try and get Silva pole position. As Marcus Finkelhoff muscles his way past Andrew McPherson in the AM. Of course, big field spread in Q2 because you've got the pros like Marcus Finkelhoff out there, but you've still got the AM competitors out qualifying their second AM drivers. So Christian Colombo, for instance, is on pole position right now in the Garage 75 Ferrari. Winkelhock being caught in that traffic has given away a lot of time in the middle sector, and it's not going to be, I wouldn't have thought, even an improvement. No, he stays in 9th position. He's behind two silver AM competitors and two silver competitors. So Ben Green from Max Hussein, from Daniel Morad, then Leo Ye, once again showing how strong he is against these international drivers. Ralph Aron in 5th, Elias Sepanen, and then Loris Spinelli. James Yu, fast as silver, Andy Dung in 9th, and then Finkelhoff in 10th. The number 30, winner in the first race of our Mandalika weekend before a lurid crash in the second race of the weekend for Alex Yu. Reinhold Renger aboard that car, but still not quite as fast as Christian Colombo. Reinhold was the GT4 champion many moons ago when GT World Challenge Asia had a split grid of GT3 and GT4 cars back down in 2018, and then didn't run with us since. But great to have Reinhold Renger back, and 2 podiums to their AM competition. Again, that middle sector, a real struggle for Hussein. He's got the best middle sector of the lap. Ben Green has in the Corvette. And Hussein comes over the line again, and it's no improvement for the BMW. I mean, still, for a silver driver, let's not forget Max Hussein is a silver driver, as is Elias Sepanen in the 55 Ferrari. Now we go on board with Kanemaru. Don't expect to see the Nissan that high up on this grid, down in 21st position right now. Could well be an improvement here, though, from Kanemaru, who sits 6th position in Silver AM. And yeah, much better. Really good time there, up to 6th position, so 2nd in Silver AM. Just ahead of Elias Sepanen. What about Ben Green, though? Could be an improvement here. He's the only man to get anywhere near his middle sector, but he has Leo Ye ahead of him. And Leo Ye not getting out of the way, so you've just got to hope that Ye is on a fast lap and maybe has provided a little bit of a slipstream for that Corvette, but we could see Chevrolet on pole, and yes, Ben Green goes a chunk faster again at 1:33.455 for the Englishman. 2.5 tenths of a second clear of everybody else now. With 2.5 minutes remaining, where are the likes of Patrick Pilet down in 18th position? Nico Menzel just ahead of him in 17th spot. Fisichella, 25th spot. Dan Arrow is a bit of a star in Mandalika. He's only down in 23rd spot. Dorian Boccolacci only 11th position right now in his Porsche. And the story is about Brit Ben Green. Here's Ralph Aron, half a second given away in the middle sector in his Mercedes, though. We've seen this Mercedes on pole position. Beautiful livery on the Climax racing car that is Mike Joe's. But even though Mercedes usually so strong here, it is an improvement up to 4th position. but it's not the starring performance that we are used to seeing from Ralph Aron. Max Hussein with traffic. How much has that held him up? How long has he been behind Andrew McPherson? Now around the back of the circuit, but there is an orange little line beside his name in the graphic, which means the middle sector is not good for Hussein. Might see an improvement from Jordan Love here in the 66. Love at the moment down in 9th position, but the sister car on the pole, which means there is potential. No improvement for Jordan Love, who goes over the line. The back of shot stays in 9th. Quite a lot of traffic. There is Patrick Pilet in the 911. And Pilet on the brakes, I think. Was he on the brakes? Maybe not. Let's see what that first sector looks like for Pilet. As I say, down in 18th position. And having to be a little bit offline as they trail brake into that hairpin. It's a big, long, wide hairpin. Checker flag is out, so these attempts are everybody's last. Sepanen in the pits in the 55, Spinelli in the pits in the 19 Lamborghini. Kanemaru, 7th position, stays 7th over the line. That's second best silver though. Not too many opportunities for improvements. Maybe Daniel Frost in 13th position in the Mercedes Craft Bamboo. He's got a green first sector, but it's an orange middle sector for him. And many taking the checkered flag here. Fisichella perhaps, down in 22nd spot, green for Fisichella. It's coming towards the final sector of the lap. He will not be happy with 22nd spot. But there is the provisional pole car, Ben Green in the 99. Over the line comes Max Hussein, and that, I think, was a slight improvement. Yes, it was for Max Hussein. Fisichella only up to 21st spot, so it was an improvement, but not a lot of an improvement. Winkelhock loses the position because Nandi goes up into 14th spot, and Daniel Frost does improve to 13th. But nobody challenging the top. Nobody challenging Ben Green. Prince Jeffrey Ibrahim, once again, the stronger of the brothers. And JMR, let's not forget, a brand new team. Johor Motor Racing, JMR, set up by the Princes to run this Corvette. They've got a really big partnership with Corvette as well. It isn't just about a customer racing product. This is a really strong partnership between JMR, Prince Jeffrey, Prince Ibrahim, and Corvette. And they have got themselves a pole. This could well be a Corvette track as well, couldn't it? We knew it was going to be about the grunt. We've seen that year on year with Mercedes 6 victories, Porsche 2 victories. Could Corvette get themselves on that list? A 3rd victory it would be for Corvette if they did. We'll have to wait until Sunday to find out and to watch Ben Green lead from pole position. Let's go down to Emily in the pits, who has Ben with her.
So Ben, a very strong lap from you. Congratulations, pole position.
Thank you very much. Yeah, JMR gave me a fantastic car. The Corvette was on rails today, so yeah, tricky conditions for everyone, I think. Just managed to get a lap in there at the end, but yeah, very happy with it.
This season, looking at your team, it's been a very good season for you guys, but at the midpoint of the season, starting from pole position tomorrow in race 2, what does it mean?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we had a tough time in Mandalika, and obviously the team had a great success at the first round, so it's nice to bounce back and be up the front where we belong.
So good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Ben will feel that, won't he? Because Alexander Sims, in the first weekend, in that car in the 99, with a victory, with a 4th position as well, and then they go to Mandalika and Sims not available, so Ben Green gets drafted in and they only pick up a single point. he will feel that that was his fault. He will take that very much on his shoulders. So now to get that pole position and to bounce back, that will mean a lot. And then the job will be to convert that into a victory. Representatives from Rove Motor Oil presenting the pole winner award to Ben Green for race 2. That's our Sunday morning race. But of course, we have a race this afternoon coming up for you. That's Q1's result and our AM drivers starting. So here are the results of qualifying 2 then. And Pro-Am is the pole position, the 99 of Ben Green. In silver, it is James Yukwai having the pole position again, but only managing his 12th position overall. And for the 89 silver AM pole position, Max Hussein on the front row of the grid. For EBM, Earl Bama Motorsport getting the AM pole position thanks to a great lap for Martin Berry, I think that is. And his error all stands. 2.5 tenths was the gap between Ben Green and Max Hussein on the front row. Daniel Morad and Leo Ye on row 2. Origin looking strong again. You cannot count them out. Then Ralph Aaron and Bastian Boos. Kanemaru, could it be a Nissan weekend again? 7th position for them. Sepane and Love Boccolacci, only 10th position. Head scratching for them at 0.6 of a second off. Spinelli, James Yu, Nandi, Winkelhock, Dung, Forbach, Thong Pile, Menzel, Fisichella 21st, Natalie Fong 22nd, Dan Arrow 23rd. Frost must have lost that last lap time then to drop to 24th position. And look at that, it's going to be close with the AMs in race 2. Martin Berry we welcome back, and he gets pole position alongside Christian Colombo, then Reinhold Renger. And then the 4th AM, Andrew McPherson, down in 30th position. There is the 20-metre golden Buddha as James Yukwai heads back to the briefing. Our silver pole position driver in qualifying 2, but also, of course, silver pole for race 1 with Frankie Chang. Previous victors, both of them. So that is us pretty much done here at Chang International Circuit. And now let's take a look at the highlights of our qualifying session. Qualifying took place at around 11 o'clock local time, a slightly later start in Buriram. And of course the AM drivers taking qualifying 1 first, with Bob Wan, our championship leader, out on circuit with clear track ahead of him for those early laps. Corvette looking strong in the hands of Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim. Sharing that car with Jordan Love. But plenty of track limit infringements from all the different drivers, causing issues and track and lap being lost. It's always the silver drivers who are strong in qualifying 1, and a much stronger performance from Uno Racing in qualifying 1. It was Rio aboard that car. Tony Moran in the 89 BMW. A strong silver AM entry that's taken 4 victories out of 4. And expect them to be very, very strong in race 2, but perhaps slightly less strong in race 1 with Tony Moran's qualifying. Qualifying 2, Marcus Winkelhock looking very feisty in the 46. Having to fight his way through traffic, but Ben Green, even with a little bit of traffic in qualifying 2, was able to get himself a clean enough lap time to move himself 0.3 of a second clear of everybody else. Max Hussein pushed to get closer, but he wasn't close enough. And Ben Green, after a disappointing weekend in Mandalika, first time out with the team, able to secure pole position for race 2. That will go down very well at JMR Corvette. And there is the pole award for the first race. We welcome Lo Kailor to the championship. Congratulations. Join us then, local time, at 2:45 for racing action here in Buriram, the Chang International Circuit, hosting the middle part of our GT World Challenge here.